video on methadone, Suboxone, Vivitrol, Subutex, the different maintenance drugs that are actually out there saving people's lives. And also many people reach out to me wanting to get off of them. Go ahead and tell us how long you were on methadone, what your experience was on it, how it helped you, talk about the pros, through your experience a little bit on methadone, and why did you get on it to begin with?
I was on methadone for around 10 years. I got on it because I was addicted to perks and didn't want to withdraw. And I actually, when I went in there, I didn't know that, I'm not going to say it gets you high, but it doesn't give you that it supplements for that, painkiller or, heroin, whatever your choice is. It kind of supplements for it. So whenever I got on it and got there, I didn't know that I was actually going to be continuing. I didn't know it had withdrawals effects and all that. I had just heard about it. And it helped for a long, long time. 10 years. But when I got on it, felt the withdrawals, I realized that I could finally be normal again. The withdrawals I knew that I had in my mindset once I started, I wasn't gonna stop. Once I felt that first withdrawal time.
From the methadone?
From the methadone.
So it scared the crap out of you that you were like, yo, I'm just gonna stay on it. There's no point.
Yeah, the withdrawals were bad.
You weren't tapering and doing it the right way though, were you?
No, it was just miss some days, and that's when I, actually tried. The first time I tried to come off of methadone, I was like, all right, you know what? Pills are way easy to come off of. So I go and I buy a script of 90, 7.5s. And within 3 days, I ate all 90 of those 7.5s. 20 at a time. Because I was on at that time, I was either on 120 milligrams or 85, something like that. And I knew the withdrawals were going to be bad. So I sat there and popped them 20 at a time. And the third day, and that's always the worst day when it comes to methadone, the third day, I popped 20 of them, laid down, and threw every one of them up. The withdrawal was just so bad, I was like, I cannot take this, and I went back. And after that, I was like, I'm just gonna be on it for the rest of my life.
So let me go ahead and say up front, you were doing it all wrong. Okay, if you were going to taper, so let's not bash. Look, my goal in this video is not to. I know that people who are watching this are already going to think he's trying to bash methadone or he's trying to promote methadone. I'm not trying to do either.
Yeah.
I want you to understand the dynamics. I want people who are watching this to know how, there are ways to go about this. You weren't tapering with a doctor. It's obvious because you were at 120 or 80 milligrams, somewhere up there. You weren't lowering your dose to a very jump off lower dose. And a lot of people I talk about, I'll just get on heroin again because it's easier to get off that than it is to get off methadone. I get it because the half-life and the intensity of the length of withdrawal. The problem is that ain't a way to do it either.
Yeah, it's not.
I know that it sounds better from a methadone side if you're trying to get off methadone, but you get trapped in that also because you were stuck on fentanyl when I came. And let's talk a little more. I want us to be real, okay? I want us to be real because the first video we did about you talking about methadone, you were about 6 years, all right? You were on methadone while you were talking about it, and you were like, I don't want my employer at the time to know that I'm doing methadone.
Yes.
So you were pretending that you were on methadone.
But I was on methadone at that time.
Yes, and I have people call you out. There's a few people who called you out and said, bro, he's high. Or at least, not that he's high like that, but they could tell you were on something.
Yeah, I probably was high because I got my take-homes and I double dosed.
Right.
Sometimes triple dosed.
Wow.
Yeah, on 85 milligrams.
So you were, and you've admitted to me, you'd rather get high doing it the right, legal way, and sometimes you just did it like you were supposed to do, I suspect.
Yeah, oh yeah, because I didn't want to feel that withdrawal. Of course, they're only going to give you a certain amount, so you can't go and take 3 bottles and then expect not to withdraw. So what I would do is I would sit there and take my bottle, 3 bottles, 2 bottles, whatever it was, and then I would the next day have to take less the next day, and did it like that just so I could get that high.
And you did feel it once in a while. You didn't feel it if you took it like you were supposed to, right?
Yeah, if I took it like I was supposed to, no.
Okay. I want everyone to understand that, those who are taking it or have taken it and did it right, they're going to look at this video and go, yep, see, he wasn't doing it the right way. And
yeah, and I wasn't. I admit that. There's nothing wrong with methadone.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with Suboxone. Some people, that is what will work for them. You got to be, in my point of view, you have to be completely ready. When I got off of methadone and got on the fentanyl, I wasn't ready. Corona hit. They were closing the clinic down, and so I just was like, you know what? I'm not about to sit here. I'm still having to go get it when they're closed, so there's no point of continuing to do it. It'd be easier to get off of that. Which I've seen people actually do methadone, do it the right way, and it worked. I mean, usually from what I've heard is the best and easiest way to do it is to taper down as, really low, and then to switch to Suboxone, but to only be on Suboxone for a short period of time, like 2 weeks, something like that. Nothing at all, and you got to taper yourself down off of that too. I mean, there's steps.
And you weren't abiding by those
I
steps.
did not. I was not at all abiding by them. I was doing the complete opposite, and I paid for it because I continued to do it.
Now, I want to talk, first I want to say I thought it was 6 years, but maybe it was 6 years from when I recorded with you, because you were on for 10 years. So I am incorrect. 9 to 10,
yeah,
right?
It was, yeah. If it was 6 years, so it was about my 4th year doing it.
Okay.
I started doing...
Do you know how long you were on methadone? I said
on
6,
but
I would think...
On a rough estimate, because I started doing pills when I was... like 15. And then I went... But I wasn't addicted yet. But like 16, probably 17, I was addicted for sure, guarantee.
Were you allowed to go to the methadone clinic under 18 years of age?
I don't know. I know I wasn't at that time.
Okay.
But I did before I met Mike, at the car wash that I used to manage. And whenever that was before I was 20. So, I mean, 9, 10 years, something like that, rough estimate.
And this is going for the people who haven't done methadone, and those who have done methadone will know what you're talking about. What does methadone feel like? Can you describe it the best you can in your own words?
I don't want to say it gets you high, because if you do it right, it won't get you. You won't get high. You'll just feel like a normal person. If you do it like I did it, you'll get high. You'll get high. And the whole goal of you going there is not to get high. It's to feel normal. And whenever I was withdrawing for you, like with you, getting clean off of everything, I didn't think I was going to be normal. That
was a fear.
Yeah, I didn't think, even after like a week, I still felt like you feel unnormal in your own skin.
Yeah, that's normal though, because I felt that way coming off straight heroin from the streets. So it's not... Let me phrase it this way. Let's get into something I think is important. I asked this, and I said, do you guys really want me to ask my brother-in-law this question? I really want their honest. I want your honesty. I want you to just keep it real. And it doesn't matter who, on what side. I don't care. This is from your mouth. This is subjective. This is your opinion, and this is your own experience. All right. Do you feel better today not being on methadone than you did when you were on methadone?
100%.
Can you elaborate?
The freedom of not waking up every morning. That was the worst part. The freedom of not waking up every morning, knowing that you have to go get something is the biggest thing for me.
The chase is still there.
Yes.
Except this chase isn't fun like it used to be on the streets. This becomes boring and the same monotonous.
You think it is. You think being sober is boring.
I'm talking about the chase every morning going to the methadone clinic and doing that.
Oh yeah, that
gets old.
It gets old. Yeah, when you were out there on the street buying drugs, that's where all your time went. The chasing it. Mm-hmm. But whenever you're doing the same routine every day over and over, and it ain't even about the having to go and do it. It's about the freedom of just waking up knowing I don't need nothing today. I'm not that's not the first thing that goes in your mind now.
It's interesting that you say that because I want to get into I want to ask you some more probing questions on that. But there are people who do recognize, just like a person who has, let's say, needs to take insulin for diabetes, or someone who needs heart medicine for a heart issue, they see Suboxone or methadone like a simple treatment for the disease of addiction. And I get it. I agree. The thing is I also know people who finally got off it and they didn't need the medication to deal with that issue. And I've been kind of wrestling in my head, where are the doctors planning on a jump off? Do you think that the clinic you were going to, honestly, and I mean this is your own experience, so someone else might have a different experience. Honestly, do you think they ever had an end goal in mind on trying to help you get off, or did they say no, you just need to keep coming back?
They had no end goal. There was no end goal. There was we gotta have that money to continue. That's a business. They gotta have that money to continue.
Am I telling you to say that?
No.
Okay, I want to be upfront.
Have you said it before?
No,
okay.
I'm saying this for the naysayers who might think there's a bias here because you're my brother-in-law.
Yeah, no.
But look, I didn't even want to go into this video, any coaching, prepping. I just said I want to talk to you about methadone, and that was it.
He literally said that.
Okay, so this is important because I think getting to the heart of the issue for me, and I said this, and you could tell me if I'm wrong. I felt when I got off Subutex, I didn't do the methadone route for a long period. I even mentioned I did it 4 or 5 days, and then I felt sleep paralysis and got numb from my neck down, and I was like, yo, this shit scared me. I don't know what happened, and I just stopped doing it. It was strong.
Yeah.
I got off the Suboxone, Subutex, which I'd done both, and I felt tell me if I'm wrong, there's a force-filled layer of protection that kind of it numbs you from the arrows, I described it, of the enemy using drugs, going out on the streets and trying to get your dope. But also, that numbing protective force field also hindered me from fully experiencing and feeling my emotions, love, the sensitivity of things in the world around me. I was not as susceptible to feeling those emotions like I do now. I can feel things much more now than I did when I was taking the medicine.
Oh, yeah. I mean, then a girl breaks up with me, it's now, okay, whatever. Now I might cry like a baby.
So that might, and I want to say that could be a bad thing for people who are not able to handle the emotions of the real world, life on life's terms, which is why the tool of something like methadone is very important for some to survive. I want to say up front, I want people to survive, whatever that is. Suboxone, methadone, Vivitrol, don't matter. Kratom, it don't matter. Even if it's abstinence like me, I don't care. Whatever works for you. But I'm doing this video to educate people. So let's talk about when you went to transition to Suboxone. What happened when you were trying to do that?
I didn't do it the right way again. I didn't taper down. And I waited 3 days. And on the third day, I took, I think a whole strip, and it didn't work. So I called Kurt, and I'm like, Kurt, what do I do? He's like, take more. I took more, it still didn't work. And then finally I was just like, fuck it. And I went and got some.
And was this when you got onto fentanyl and you started doing the street?
That's when I got on the fentanyl.
Okay. Well, how long were you on the fentanyl by the time I came in?
About 2 months. 2 months.
I want to, the streets is a different game than the methadone. So I want to go ahead and caution people right now during this, where we're at. You got into some trouble with some people that we cannot mention names, nothing. But the point is you were in a bad spot. You got jumped by a bunch of people who took advantage of you, and you were just trying to do the right thing that you felt, being a good person. And I saw, and I was like, nah, you're going to end up killing somebody. You really were going to end up killing somebody. So at that point, or be killed. And at that point, it was, we need to get you help.
Yeah.
You got to withdraw cold turkey in the hotel room down in Florida. How was that experience?
Hell. And it was right before my birthday. It was bad, but I'm glad I did it. I'm glad it's over with.
Yeah.
And it's December, 6 months being clean. You would think, oh, he's only got 6 months. It's not that much. I don't think about it. I wouldn't take one, no matter how much pain I'm in. And I'm glad that I got that feeling now.
Yeah.
And for everybody that thinks that I'm against methadone, no, I'm not. I was on methadone. I did methadone.
Yeah.
Methadone
saved your life.
Yeah.
From cocaine and the opiates.
Yeah, methadone works. Suboxone works. Some people might have to be on it for the rest of their life. That's their choice. Everybody's got to make their own choice in life. You either want to continue to do it for the rest of your life, or you don't. And when you got here, I was done. I didn't want it no more. I didn't want that. I was done with it. And you got to be completely done with it to be able to succeed with it, just like how you did your last time. Mm-hmm. People say, how do you do it? How do you do it? You were done with it.
Mm-hmm. You had to commit.
Yeah.
And it's like a soft decision that you harden that decision as you continuously tell yourself what you want and what you're going to do. And you have to keep telling yourself and do it. When I bumped into you when we came back from Washington and you told me, man, I'm just doing Percocet. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. They're like, how are you not doing methadone anymore? I told them, and they already knew I was on a high dose. For some reason, I just have a really high tolerance. Everybody's like, damn, I can't believe you have a tolerance that high. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's doing it for so long and upping. But, and I told them I was only doing 2 perk 10s a day.
You were so full of it.
It wasn't even, the number I said wasn't even believable to anybody.
And for me, man, when you told me that, I was just like, well, we need to try and get you on the Suboxone, because I was trying to get you off the street.
Yeah.
And anything to get you going, and you were considering, like, what's it feel like? You were asking me,
Yeah, because the only feeling I felt, with Suboxone was the withdrawals from, being, because methadone and Suboxone does not mix. Nobody told me that the first time I've ever tried it. I remember I missed a day of methadone, and I was like, I don't want to feel bad. So I had somebody that I knew took some Suboxone. They gave me one, and within exactly 30 minutes after taking it, I was in complete withdrawal, the worst of my life. That was worse than the fentanyl. It was worse than just straight withdrawing from methadone. Like, when you're, like, I was literally vomiting out my whole stomach inliner. And it was bad. And I could not take it. Somebody had some fentanyl, but it was the patches. You remember the little patches? They had some fentanyl patches. They were 25s. And I took one, and it took me out of withdrawal, and I started to feel decent. and I had another one, and I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I might as well just get high now. And I took that one too.
Wow. So let's get back on track here. I want to say, what would you recommend, or say someone's doing the methadone now, they kind of sitting on the fence. I'm not here to encourage them to get off. If this is working for them and it makes them happy and it completes them, good. But someone wants to get off, what would you, from someone who's been there and been through that, how would you suggest that they go about doing it?
Probably the tapering down, doing it the right way. Definitely
Working with their doctor?
I can't really say that, man, because I mean, I felt like I went to a clinic. So, you know, there are some people that actually go to doctors and get it prescribed. So I can't say that because the clinic, they're just like, they got so many people coming in and out, you know. Yeah, they got counselors, and I had great counselors. But once you're there for, you know, so long, they just become your friends. You know what I mean? They're just friends. And
did you ever talk about tapering with them?
No.
Ever say, yo, let's go down?
They asked the question because they have to, but it was no like pushing it. No,
Right.
Matter of fact, when we came back from Florida, he was my favorite counselor. He wasn't there when I left, but I ended up seeing him, and it felt good to be able to say, I'm off of everything. Nothing. No methadone, no, nothing.
Why is that? Now, why do you feel that way? Because, like, some people, you know, there's a stigma for people who think you need to be abstinent off everything, right? You're not that guy.
Yeah, I'm not,
Okay.
I don't.
Okay, I want to say that, but I also want to say, like, why do you feel good that you're not on it?
Just off of not having to depend on it. That gives me, and honestly,
Were there side effects too? Was it like it just made you tired, or did it?
No. It never made me tired when I was on that. But honestly, I feel like I'm more now. I can do a lot more, like with my music. I mean, you seen what I did with my music, with my live streaming, with all of that. I've accomplished way more than I've ever accomplished on anything.
Yeah.
I'm able to finish things now. And I'm not saying it was because of that, but my mindset was in that order because I was worried about dosing or, you know, whatever. I think it just took that extra stress off.
I'm going to ask you something personal, and this is a man question. So if you're under 18, please do not pay attention. Your libido, your sex drive on it and off of it.
It was horrible. Yeah, it was horrible. Yeah.
Like you didn't feel like you weren't as wanting, right?
Yeah, no. I was more, and I think it was that same mindset because you're not worried about that. You're worried about getting, you know, high.
Right. Or feeling
Feeling normal, yeah. And I didn't have it at all.
Interesting. All right. So someone's on the streets. They're struggling with drug addiction. They're dying right now in terms of fentanyl. They're out there. What would you recommend they do?
I would call Derek Lambert.
Shut up. No, but seriously, I mean, the question I'm getting at, if you were to relapse right now and I were to pitch to you a couple of options from your own experience with methadone, from your own experience with those things, and I said, hey, let's get you on Suboxone, let's get you on methadone, or I could get you into a facility somewhere where they can, like a doctor can help taper you off the fentanyl comfortably and you can walk out of there not having, now the choice is always available in the rehabs that I talk to of being able to jump on methadone or Suboxone to try and, you know, live a maintenance life, but you could walk out of there not be on anything in that case. And I left it in your hands, not in a doctor's hands, because doctors look at statistics and they think maintenance would work better for someone. Okay, so what if you had a choice between cold turkey on your couch in a hotel room like you did,
Mm-hmm.
rehab, Suboxone, Methadone, Vivitrol, something like that, what would you do?
I honestly, I would go to treatment
Why?
because I think the number one thing is getting away from that scenery. You know, some people can't get away from it because their job and stuff like that, but actually you really can. Everybody has a medical leave. Everybody can get away from it. And then the fact that, like, you knew what you were doing when you withdrawed me.
Right.
My withdrawals weren't that bad. They were bad. You made me suffer the first day. I'm still mad at you for that.
Yeah.
But after that first day of you making me suffer, making me not want, you know, you
had to feel it is the point.
and then, you made me feel it. You made me be able to sit back and think, oh, I don't want to do that again. And then you did everything you needed for me to make sure I wasn't in agony pain.
You know what's crazy, bro? That was all just like simple old prescriptions that I had, right?
And
Now I am not recommending this to
Yeah,
anyone,
yeah.
but I'm gonna tell you something. A facility with a doctor, they go way beyond that to making you more comfortable.
Exactly, and that's exactly why I would say a treatment. Yeah. If I would have known that it was just going to be like that. And I'm going to tell you, I thought the worst thing was the aching and stuff like that. But once that got over, the thing I had the most problem with was the vision.
Blurry?
Blurry, like you can't walk type, and the vision and eating, that was really bad.
So, a lot of people can get clean but can't stay clean. You said that to you, it's easier for you to stay clean after the hard initial getting off of everything. It's easier for you to stay clean in your own experience. Not everybody's the same. So I say that to say, like, this is someone who would rather go through withdrawal if you could have gone to a doctor because you didn't even have insurance. But if you could have gone to like a facility or whatever, you would have. And you're saying like it's easy for you to stay clean, but that initial getting clean was the hardest part for you, right?
Yeah, the getting clean was the hardest part. It was that fear of the withdrawals. Like I said, I was young when I started, so I feel like that I was young and made a mistake. I don't feel like I'm different than anybody. I feel like I'm the same person as everybody. Anybody can, take advantage of pills and get addicted. Anybody can do that. So just because you're an addict, I don't feel like you're abnormal.
No, it's all good because ultimately, man, I do want people who feel like they need to take a maintenance to go do that. You see what I'm saying? You can also do that going through a rehab, by the way. It's not just going to outpatient. Because I know some people who have problems doing both. Mm-hmm. They're on methadone, but they're also doing meth. Or they're snorting coke, or, they're smoking crack. So there's like dual addiction. They have like multiple addictions to multiple different chemicals and things like that. Separating themselves from the environment is important. But dude, you answered a lot of questions. If anyone wants a round 2, we could do follow-ups with asking questions. Maybe even do a live where people can ask you and you could just be straight up with them. But
oh yeah, you wanted me to tell you. You had said something about when you were on methadone, your neck down.
Yeah,
that is very true because you can sleep anywhere when you're on methadone. Anywhere.
Are you going to tell them about the situation? Okay.
Yeah. I told Derek this earlier, and he's like, yeah, you gotta tell him. So I had been up, and also when you stay up on methadone, like, I had stayed up for I was on my 48 hour. Did
you double dose or triple dose that day?
No, that day I normal dosed, but the day before I had double dosed the day before, and I just took a normal one that day. But I didn't go to sleep either. And I literally was maybe a foot away from my bed, about to go and lay down because I was tired. And instead of actually making it to the bed, I fell asleep standing up a foot from the bed and woke up 8 hours later, and my legs were burning so bad from being standing up so long.
So let's get this straight, because this is so important that people understand. You fell asleep a foot away from the bed, standing up. You didn't fall over?
I didn't fall over, nothing.
You were up the whole. Really, technically, I don't know how you were even asleep, because that's you. That's so crazy, bro.
It is. And
what happened to your legs again? You were dying.
They were burning so bad, I literally had to lay down whenever I woke up, just so they weren't, as bad. Like, that you just came back to the gym working out for the first time. You worked out your legs the whole time. That was that feeling.
This is funny, but it's not.
It was definitely horrible. It was horrible.
Dude, I'll be honest. I've seen you so out of it, bro. Like, I was scared, bro. I was scared a couple times from the way you nodded, and you had to have taken too much, or you were on a high dose at the time.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of it was just staying awake. It was staying awake for.
It was easier to stay awake on methadone?
If you're doing something. Now, if you're not doing anything, if you're standing up, moving, of course, just like with pills. That's why we're like, when we first found out they were downers, we were like, nah, there's no way. That shit gives us energy. Like crazy. And then after doing it for so long, I realized when you sit down is when you start, getting drowsy. That's when you're getting drowsy, is when you're sitting down on it.
No, appreciate it, bro. I mean, if anyone has questions, leave them down in the comment section. We'll try and do another video. We could probably do a live with people, let them hear and ask you questions in particular. But I just think it's interesting hearing the different angles. Like, if someone was dying out there on the streets from drug addiction and you knew they were not ready, would you put them on methadone?
I would put them on methadone.
Or Suboxone.
Or Suboxone,
but you've never experienced the Suboxone. Yeah, so I know it does work, though.
I've only experienced withdrawal from Suboxone, so I can't go from that angle. But yeah, I would put them on methadone. If it will save their life or somebody else's life, I would put them on methadone, 100%. There's nothing wrong with it. And I'm not saying if you're on methadone, you need to find an end game or anything like that. If you feel like that's going to be the thing that saves your life, continue it. That's your life. That's nobody else's. That's your choice. You got to make your own choices in life.
Thank you, brother.
Yep.